Coming up in this episode, we have NRL and Super League reports and scores as we catch up from the fixtures we missed. And is it Friends reunited in Oldham? Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel L Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Also, please remember that I'm running my Buy Me a Coffee campaign. Just click on the QR code with your mobile phone device and it'll direct you to the right page where you can make a donation towards a future rugby league project. Now, this episode is coming a bit later as I'm trying to find a way how I can get the best demographic to get the views, basically, to get the word out there for rugby league and also get the word out for this channel. What can we do? So, I'm trying a later evening slot, shall we say, for weekends, Saturday and Sunday, and it's primarily going to be result service. As there was no highlight episode last night, we're going with a result service today with a catch-up, a little bit of knowledge about the results and who scored from each game. We are, though, going to start off with the latest games that finished. First of all, in the NRL, as there were 3 games played on Saturday evening in Australia. So first of all, we have to do our live roundup, as Friday saw 2 more games after the Seagulls win, with the Dolphins and the Roosters both coming up triumphant. This Saturday saw the Gold Coast Titans face off the Melbourne Storm, with North Queensland Cowboys and New Zealand Warriors facing each other next. Then the Saturday games closed out with the Brisbane Broncos facing St George Illawarra Dragons. First up is the Gold Coast Titans versus Melbourne Storm, and it's a clash for the 26th time in the NRL history between the two sides, where after both sides suffered losses in round 2 after first up wins to open up the season. Both are playing the same record at this point. The Titans came back to earth at Koogara on Sunday after their impressive start to the season, while Melbourne copped more injury concerns in their loss to the Bulldogs, but otherwise beaten on enthusiasm. Craig Bellamy's men hold a dominant record against the Titans, particularly at Cbus Super Stadium, and with a few stars slated to return, they'll want to correct their efforts from last week. Star recruit Kieran Foran has seen it all in his 264 game career, and the Titans will look to him for guidance and steadying hands as they look to bounce back in front of the Homes faithful. Their 12 points to 2 lead early against the Dragons was encouraging, but the kicking game of Forens and Tane Boyd will need to be better to get the side over the line in this game. So who came out victorious? Well, it was the Gold Coast Titans, as they came up with the 38 points to 14 victory, with a couple of doubles for the Gold Coast younger players. Alofiana Cam Pereira opened the scoring on the 3rd minute for the Titans, before Jonah Peze scored on the 10th minute. Cam Pereira then got his 2nd on the 21st minute for the Titans to keep up their momentum. Then the Storm quickly hit back with 3 tries in 9 minutes, with Nick Meaney getting over the try line on the 24th minute. Then Tariq Sims on the 30th with his 2nd touch of the game, before Nick Meaney initially did his best not to score, and then on the next drive getting over the try line in a bouncing bomb movement for the 33rd minute try, and a double for him. Meaney also added 4 kicks from his 4 attempts in the first half to give a 24 points to 18 lead, as Tane Boyd hit a conversion and a penalty, as well as a 3rd conversion on the second conversion on the 40th minute, responding to a Brian Kelly try on the 39th minute for the Titans. First out the blocks in the second half were the Titans again, as Joe Vuna scored on the 41st minute, then Aaron Shuck scored on the 46th minute of his first try, picking up a loose ball and running, shall we say, let's be generous, 85 metres to score left of the post, running across the field with the chasing Xavier Coates in his getting Shuck in his crosshairs. Jerome Hughes, who earlier went on report after hitting Boyd late with a tackle as he was kicking away on the last tackle, got over the try line for a try on the 65th minute before Aaron Shuck got a second try on the 73rd minute. Boyd only kicked one of the conversions in the second half, but he got a penalty on the 60th minute to give the Titans their 38-point scoreline. Xavier Coates did get on the try line when Nick Meaney completed a 5 from 6 conversion record to make the score 38 points to 34 in the Titans' favour. Next, we turn our attentions to the Cowboys versus the Warriors in the second game of the day. And both the Cowboys and the Warriors have key changes to their 17 when they meet in round 3, with each looking to pick up their second win of the season following last time out defeats. North Queensland will be hurting from the last week's derby loss to the Broncos, which saw them lose Scott Drinkwater for 3 games and Peter Hiku for 2 games due to suspension. The Warriors, meanwhile, were left to poor execution in the final quarter of their 20 points to 12 loss to the Roosters on Saturday. After they had battled on valiantly in the face of losing Jackson Ford due to a head knock, Shazni Nicol-Klokstad again with a head knock, and Josh Curran with a hip injury. The Warriors were one of 6 clubs who tasted victory against the Cowboys last year when they were beating them in a home game at KO Stadium in round 5. But that wouldn't have won in either of the. But they haven't won in either of their last 2 visits to the Queensland Country Bank Stadium so far. I will get it right eventually. The 2 clubs have been well matched in recent years, each winning 3 of their 6 meetings over each other in the past 4 seasons, which includes splitting their head-to-head record in 2021. So who came out on top in this clash? Well, it was the Warriors who came out victorious as they beat the Cowboys 26 points to 12. It was the Cowboys that got off to a good start, as on the 4th minute, Tom Chester scored in the 4th minute, before Wade Egan replied on the 8th. Reece Robinson scored on the 13th minute, with both of those tries being converted by Valentine Holmes. That's all she wrote when it came to Cowboys scoring. Either side of half-time, we saw Marcelo Montoya score on the 28th minute, Jazz Tavenga on the 33rd. Then the second half saw Edward Cozy 47th minute and Marcelo Montoya scoring on the 55th minute for his second try of the game. 3 out of the 5 conversions came from the Sean Johnson boot, and it was another win for the Warriors as they get one over on the Cowboys. Cowboys are now 1 win, 2 losses. And finally, we come to the Brisbane Broncos versus St George Illawarra in the 3rd and final game for Saturday. And after starting their season 2-0, the Broncos host the Dragons side, who opened up their campaign last week with a dominant win over the Titans. After upsetting the Premiers in round 1, the Broncos ran hot in their 28 points to 16 victory over the Cowboys last week, with fullback Reece Walsh stealing the show in his club debut and Ezra Mann having a night out in the halves. Dragons meanwhile defied pre-season expectations to overcome the Titans, with former Bronco Ben Hunt, their standing-out player, and Tyrell Sloan providing lethal threats at fullback. St George Illawarra have been brilliant in recent history against the Brisbane Broncos, having lost to them just once in the past 7 meetings head-to-head since 2018. Although Suncorp hasn't been a kind hunting ground for them, through that period, and they have lost their last 5 games at the venue. The Broncos have punished the opposing defensive lines with their carries through the opening fortnight and average a competition high of 670 post-contact metres heading into round 3. And the Broncos were dominant again as they ran in 7 tries for a 40 points to 18 victory in front of their home crowd. It was the Dragons that got off to a good start on the 6th minute with Matthew Fagia scoring on the 6th minute with a try, and after Katoni Staggs had equalised for the Broncos with a try of his own, Tyrell Sloan scored on the 27th minute. We saw a third try for the Dragons after Jaden Sullivan scored on the 33rd minute, with 2 conversions from Zach Lomax being the 16 points for the first half for the Dragons, to the half-time 8 for the Broncos as Adam Reynolds got a penalty just before half-time. The scoring though went one way as Katoni Staggs followed up a Corey Pax try on the 47th minute, with Pax scoring on the 43rd. And after Zach Lomax got a 2-pointer for a penalty in the 59th minute, the 70th minute saw the Broncos turn on the star with 4 more tries. Selwyn Cobble got over on the 70th, Reece Walsh got his first on the 73rd, before Ezra Mam scored on the 75th. Walsh completed the try scoring on the 78th minute, with another one for his own tally. Adam Reynolds finished off with top figures of 5 from 7 on the conversion rate, so the Broncos march on up the table. We now turn our attention to Oldham FC as they have got some fantastic news. But before that, a little bit of history about Oldham, as the former Super League team have fell down the leagues after their previous incarnation. The Oldham Bears fell into liquidation around about 1997 following relegation from the Super League. During that time, Oldham were playing at Boundary Park after many a year since the 1897 when playing at their famous ground, Watersheddings. Watersheddings was a small, compact ground compared to many Super League clubs, but it was fearsome. The atmosphere was fantastic, and it gave them a decent psychological edge to progress further and further up the Rugby League pyramid. And as was said, they got into Super League. They were in Super League. They were in the top tiers during the 1997 season. Then that fateful 1997 season came along, which was the 102nd season in the club's history and their second in the Super League during their change to Oldham Bears. They finished bottom in the table, 12th place, relegating them to what was the Northern Ford Premiership, now the Championship, finishing just behind Paris Saint-Germain as their French club gained 12 points to Oldham Bears 9. Following their relegation, the club went into liquidation in October 1997 with debts of over £1 million, helping the club suffer for a bit of time. In time for the 1998 season, Oldham RLFC was born so that they could compete, and then they moved to a stadium called Whitebank Stadium in Limeside, which Whitebank did not meet the championship status, the standards that the championship demand, then they moved to Bowers Fold in Stalybridge. They had already previously used Boundary Park, Hurst Cross and Park Lane, and then returned to Bowers Field in 2020, before a move to the Vista Care Stadium, which you see in front of you, as their home for since then. But the announcement of a deal to share Boundary Park with Oldham Athletic Football Club has come about thanks to great timing and funding with regards to Oldham's pitch. A statement came out over the last couple of days that a new high specification pitch at Boundary Park Stadium is to receive £1 million of investment from Oldham Council, which will see the Oldham Athletic Football Club and Oldham Rugby League Football Club collaborate to enhance sporting provision for the borough. The collaboration and investment will help unlock opportunities for wider investment for both sides of the Oldham RLFC, shall we say, and that will improve education, health and employment in the area. It means that larger rugby league games can be kept in Oldham, securing the future of the rugby in the town. It will also mean participation in sports and community provision will be increased. A greater range of sports activities can be provided on the site, and travel and to other areas can be reduced as well. Oldham's Council Cabinet is set to agree to the funding for the new high specification pitch at a meeting on Monday the 20th of May, even March. First to speak about this collaboration, Councillor Amanda Chatterton, leader of Oldham Council, said Oldham can boost truly outstanding sporting achievements with some amazing successes locally, regionally, nationally and internationally. We are known for netballing and rugby successes, as well as winter sports, cycling, cricket and much more. Following the recent purchase of Oldham Athletic by the Rothwell family, we're also hoping for more success on the football pitch. But these achievements don't happen on their own. They start on the playing field up and down the country. That is why it's vital to support grassroots sports. By investing in young people, creating better clubs and club community facilities in place, we can sow the seeds of a more successful and sustainable sporting future, and to help our people, teams and clubs reach their highest possible potential. The board of Oldham Athletic Football Club said, since the takeover of the football club last summer, significant time has been invested in developing a wonderful relationship with the Oldham Council and Oldham Rugby League Football Club, and this is a hugely exciting step forward in strengthening of that bond. As a club, we want to be a focal point in ensuring our town thrives in sporting capacity, and that the many benefits of sport are felt throughout the local community, whether it be through participation or enjoyment of the following a successful team. Like ourselves, Oldham Rugby League Football Club have a proud history, and we are thrilled to have the opportunity to work closely with them in pursuit of a bright future for Oldham. As we look forward, the makeup of our pitch will ensure we have a first-class playing surface for football, whilst also being able to accommodate additional fixtures. It is our aim to see Boundary Park Stadium become the centrepiece of sporting activity in the town and beyond, achieving our goal of becoming a football club that can say it truly works for the benefit of the community. Oldham Rugby League Football Club said that the history of the rugby league in Oldham dates back almost 150 years, and we view this as a significant conjuncture in our journey as a club. To have the privilege of returning to Boundary Park Stadium, a sporting venue of great character, traditional and potential, is a real honour, and one which provides a huge platform for us to develop. As a sport, rugby league is built upon the ethos which centres around being friendly, family and community game. There is no better way to showcase these qualities than by the strengthening our ties with Oldham Athletic and friends around the town. Together we want to work for the greater good of Oldham to ensure our town is once again known as for its sporting excellence. We are passionate about creating greater opportunities for young people to get involved in our sport and generate excitement, which will help drive our club forward. The statement continues that with Oldham not being able to fulfill bigger ties at this moment in time at the place that they're at, with their supporter base better than what the capacity of the stadium holds, they are trying to get this boundary park partnership so that they can be back to where they once were, or possibly be better. To me, this is the first club that has been proactive for the new IMG rules and have got a stadium and a partnership that they've been to before with a brand new stand which has very, very good matchday facilities as well as corporate facilities to enhance their matchday revenues. Brand new stand that is, and also two end stands, but the main stand still needs a little bit of work, I must admit that. Even though it's around about 18,000 in capacity. Yeah, it's a good move for Oldham, it really is. How can you not be impressed with their proactive mannerism when it comes to growing their sport in Oldham? Good luck to them, and hopefully it's going to be a success. Darts for us as round 5 continued. We have 3 games that are very, very competitive. But who played who, first of all? Well, Warrington Wolves faced Lee Leopards on the 8 o'clock kickoff, and Wigan Warriors travelled to Huddersfield Giants at 7:45 kickoff. But the main game on Sky Sports was St Helens, who faced Hull FC. So Saints versus Hull was the live game, and the reigning champion St Helens were on the end of a huge upset as they were stunned by newly promoted Lee Leopards last week, with Saints suffering a second loss in succession. They will be desperate to respond here and in this game, and will be confident of doing so against the Hull FC side that they have dominated for a long period now, while they are boosted by the returns of the players like Curtis Sirenen from suspension. Hull FC were on the end of an ugly loss to Salford Red Devils last week as they shipped 60 points in what was become an all-too-common theme over the last few years. The Black and Whites crumbled when the pressure was on and will need to bury their demands if they are to come up away with anything from this game. But Tony Smith looks set to make a few changes to his side with no additional injuries to report. We'll get my words out eventually. Unfortunately for Hull, while it was a much better performance, especially in defence, it was a 20 points to 12 victory for St Helens, who get back to winning ways. It was starting off the scoring just before half time, as it was going in to be a 0-0 first half scoreline, but Ben Davies went over after a short dropout wasn't taken by a Hull FC player. Davies ran 15 metres to score on the right edge. Thanks to a missed kick from Makinson, it was 4-0 at half-time to St Helens, with Benison scoring twice and Wellesby getting a try. Darcy Luksic kicked 2 from 2, while Makinson didn't get either of his conversion attempts. Hull FC had Scott Taylor and Jake Clifford to thank for their tries and their performances overall, as well as Jake Clifford kicking 2 goals. for Bulls 12 points. The next game saw Huddersfield Giants play host to Wigan Warriors, and Huddersfield made it back-to-back victories as they got the better of Castleford Tigers in a one-sided scoreline, but they know that this will be a much tougher assignment. The Giants will be hoping to continue their impressive defensive display, having conceded just 6 points in the last 2 games, but will have to deal with a trio of injuries, with Joe Greenwood, Theo Farge and Matty English joining a lengthening injuries list. Wigan Warriors failed to make it 3 consecutive victories as they produced an underwhelming performance to Catalan's Dragons last week, which saw them suffer a rare home loss. Matt Peet will be desperate for his side to produce a response here, and he has once again opted to go with the same 21-man squad that has been involved in the last 2 games. This time though, it seems to have done the trick, as Wigan Warriors won 14 points to 12 in this close game. While the home side have Kevin Nagama to thank for their try in the first half and Ollie Russell for the conversion, Wigan Warriors were afforded 2 tries by 2 mistakes from Huddersfield Giants players, both of whom gave the ball up to Evan French, who got a double. Jake Wardle got a try against his parent club, well, his former club, and there was 1 conversion from Harry Smith. This was enough to see Wigan over the try line. And the final game was Warrington Wolves versus Leigh Leopards, as the Leopards make the short trip to the Wolves for this Friday night fixture. Warrington maintained their perfect start to the season as they recorded a 4th successive win after they got the better of Hull KR on the road last week. Wolves are the early season pace setters and will be confident on recording another win, with Joe Philbin and Gil Dudson in contention to making their first appearances of the campaign. The Leopards caused a stunning upset as they claimed the scalp of the reigning champions to make it back-to-back Super League successes. The Leopards know every win will be important for them this season, and it'll have to be a real boost to land that victory. In a further piece of good news, Joe Sharrock's loan deal has been extended, so he will feature in this game too. But it was Warrington who came out victorious, making it 5 wins from 5 after a 38 points to 20 victories over their Lancashire rivals. Warrington had 2 tries from Matt Duffy, 1 from Paul Vaughan, Stephen Rashford getting over, and an 8-minute hat-trick from Matty Ashton to thank for their victory. 5 out of 7 conversion attempts by Rashford was successful as well. Leigh Leopards can't stop scoring though, as their 20 points came from 4 different players: Tom Briscoe, Josh Charnley, Tom Amon, and also Zach Hardacre, all getting over the try line. Hardacre had an okay day with the beat, 2 from 4. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. There are still 2 Super League and 2 NRL games left to go for this weekend, and I'll bring you those tomorrow evening as well as most of the championship fixtures and score lines, as well as League One. Anyway, tell me what your thoughts are on the games that have happened over this weekend and who has performed the best. I know that the people do it online, but hey ho, we've got a channel to bring some content too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. And as I always say at the end of every single video, please everyone stay safe. I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in the next episode.